Hello and welcome back to Cody's Radio Workshop. On the bench today we have a Roberts Revival R250, bought from eBay for parts are not working. I've already done the necessary on it and made it work again, but just cosmetically it's not in the best fettle. There are several marks on it that despite cleaning won't come off, and the Roberts logo is past it, so that's going to have to come off as well. Just give you a general idea of the condition that I'm talking about. It's been scrubbed and it's faded, and it can't ever be brought back to something nice. So I'm going to strip it, paint it and reassemble it. So this video will be the one where I strip it down ready, preparing it for painting. You've seen me take these apart before, and for those of you that haven't, this is how we do it. Take out the two shoulder screws first and lay it on its front and remove the screw from underneath that holds the aerial in inside. Open it up, withdraw the aerial, keep that somewhere safe. Then this left hand, as you look at it, shoulder board levers away and lifts out. Again, pop that on one side. And the radio just lifts up, lifts out. Remove the speaker wires, and here remove the power lead, and that is the aerial and the rest of the radio separate now from the case. So we can pop the radio itself on one side, because now we need to concentrate on the case. So there are a few different approaches to doing this, but what I like to do is take off the jack cowling, every little bit of trim has to come off. I don't mask anything off when I'm repainting these things. And then there are the piano hinge screws. They all have to come out. There are 8 of them. Just do support the back door while you're doing it, because it will sprain if you don't. It's not the heftiest of hinges. It has a job to do and it does it really well. But so there we go, and that's now the back door of the radio, free from the other half of the case. The hinge itself on this radio is in quite good condition and it's still quite shiny, and the bits that aren't shiny should buff up okay. So next I need my tiny little favourite screwdriver for doing the next bit of the job, which is lifting the pins up that hold the piping trim. I've actually sharpened this blade on my grinder does make this part of the job a little easier. And then once those two pins are removed, so remove the two pins from where those holes were. You can either use a really small screwdriver, or you can get the spudger in there. Just to lift up that piping, which will come all the way out. There we go. And then just peel it off all the way around and pop it on one side for later. Again, using a small flat blade, you can lift the part of the hinge up on the side of the door, and withdraw that, and carry on removing the piping, and then just bob it on one side. Now that we remove the screws from the jack cowling, that should just push out from the other side and lift away. Again, put it on one side because we will be putting it back on. And then there's the label. Now the labels sometimes do just peel off like this one is, but sometimes you also need a little bit of heat. So that is done, ready for cleaning with sugar soap, and then priming and painting. So I'll pop that part on one side. Then we come to the rest of the radio. A 5.5mm nut spinner, just to loosen. You don't have to take the speaker off, but if I'm taking it apart, I like to take everything apart. And again, the nut spinner to remove the nuts that are holding the speaker board in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the speaker board just lifts out like that. Again, pop it on one side, take the grill out, and the wire, and then from the inside, because we're not going to be keeping this Roberts logo, I just punch them out with a screwdriver, punch the pins out, and then the Roberts logo on the other side will just pull away. You can see there's some paint on there. Somebody's actually tried painting it in situ previously, but that's going in the bin. We'll fit a new one. And again, we've got 2 pins here to remove, and then remove the piping, just like we did with the back door. Sometimes these can be quite tricky to get the movement on. As is this one, easily solved with a pair of pliers. And get the second of those pins moving. I think when I respray this one, you can have it in any colour that you want, so long as it's black, because that's all I've actually got in. I do often use the posher paints. The Rust-Oleum finishes are really quite nice. Satin, not gloss. Again, the spudger does a good job there. And we remove the trim. And once again, get the spudger or a sharp blade under that part of the hinge there. And that's that. Now we need to remove the handle, and there are some retainers in here, and what I do with those, because they're a bit of a git to get off, is I pop the whole frame of the radio into my vise and I punch them out with a punch and a hammer. So I'm just going to pause the video a moment and I'll be right back. And we're back, and I have already punched one of these out, but I thought I'll just show you. There's one. You can keep the little retainers. For putting the handle back on. Put the handle on one side with the back door, because that's almost ready. We will be coming back to the handle again shortly. Right, so now we have the feet on the bottom, and these are held on with a pin. Sometimes they come off really easy, and other times, because sometimes the rubber's perished, the pin comes right out of the rubber. But that one's been okay. Again, using my handy spudger. To get underneath and feel for the pin, and then just give it a lever and they just pop out. And we are almost ready on there. Just making sure I haven't left anything super obvious. That's ready for painting. Right, the handle. It's not the best handle in the world, this. I can feel it's gone hard. Almost like it's cracking. So what I am very tempted to do is to change it for another one, but I would have to rob one off another set, so we might just get away with painting that. We'll give it a go anyway. So, tiny little screwdriver here. And just lift the little lugs up and fold them back. There's only 2 lugs that you really need to get moving. The third one usually just slides off, and that's that part of the handle taken off. And you lift up the plate and turn it over and push the pin out, and that's the handle parts off. So we'll do that again at the other side. Just lift up the 2, the left and the right lugs. Slide, lift and push, or pull. That was quite tough. And then pop those again on one side in a handy container, and that then is the handle done and ready for paint. So I'm going to stop the video there. I'm going to paint it, bring it back in whenever it's ready, today, tomorrow, and we'll reassemble it and you can have a look how it's got on. Thanks very much. Catch you in the next one. And welcome back. I've sprayed the case for the radio. I also sprayed the backboard for the speaker, but I'm just popping a few things back together. We'll be waiting for paint to dry. So I like to put a couple of dots of thread lock on the threads, particularly for the speaker. They always seem to come loose. I've had lots arrive through the post that I've bought where the speaker's been disconnected. Well, not disconnected, but it's just worked its way loose. A little bit of non-permanent thread lock goes a long way to solving that. And again with the other one, try and keep my hand out of the way in a moment. Trick is to get them tight, but not overly so, because the thread lock will do as it needs to. This one did get to a point where it was just spinning, and there is a crosshead screw on the other side, so you can attack it with a crosshead screw and the nut spinner on the other side, just to nip it up. And there's the speaker now, back in. Like I say, I've sprayed the board. Doesn't really matter what colour, it just gets rid of all the colour variations. So that's that. The next thing I'm going to do is the handle. Again, I've sprayed the handle. Remove my thread lock. I've sprayed the handle, so now I'm going to reassemble. So I'll pop the pin back in at both sides as one, and the other one on the other side. I do just push through and then put the plate back. I'm just going to close my door because all I can hear is the neighbours talking. There we go, apologies for that. So right, pop the plate back over. Try and do it the right way, eh? Make sure that bottom pin there is in place. that one there that we didn't bend, and then it's a case of just bending the other two lugs back over. The noise you can hear in the background is again the aircraft scanner I've got. So that's one on, and then we need the other one back on as well. So that's the handle, the ends and the trim back together. Look at that, nice overspray, it looks like gothic nail polish. There we go, that's the handle done and ready to go back on the radio when the radio itself is dry. So again, I'll pause there and I'll be back when we're ready to put the radio back together. See you soon. And we're back. I've brought the radio case back in out of the sunshine, and all I've done thus far is pop on a new Roberts Scroll logo, brand spanking new. So now we are going to put the whole thing back together again. I think the next thing that we will do is to put the piping back on. I usually mark these when I take them off so I know which was the front one and which one was the back one, because the holes never seem to line up if you don't get it right. But I haven't, so this will be a little bit of guesswork. And then to find the push pins to put through and drop it into the pre-existing hole. Use the overkill hammer first just to tack that in, just so I can try and line this up. Yeah, it needs to go a bit further.
5 and by the way, sir.
That's not going to go. I'm starting to swelter in here now. It's purely because the next door neighbour's out talking and telling everybody about doom and gloom stuff. And I don't particularly want to listen to that. I've had enough doom and gloom. Well, gloom, not so much doom. Been worried about doom this week, but thankfully it was just gloom. See what I mean about it not quite marrying up? Take some of the stretch out. And then we'll rework it. Or we'll try and rework it. And if not, we'll shorten it and we'll stretch the other one. Yep, I genuinely really am sweltering now. Anyway, we're going live, there's no pauses. Well, there are pauses, but there are no edits, is what I mean. You get to see it exactly as it actually is. So that's that one on, so I'll just bob that on one side. I've got the Robert sticker back on. So now we'll do the other. Piece of trim. That's matched up really quite nicely. There we go. And then we'll put the piano hinge back on.
Transfer double 310, Manchester Lambda, Shamrock 798. Summon duration of feature entry, we're planning on about 280 Berkelado, requesting 330.
Very busy out there for air traffic. About 30 miles off of Manchester here, so we do get an awful lot of air traffic passing over. We are nearly back on with the hinge. I haven't been too over the top with the final finish on this particular radio, as this one is going into the house, into my son's bedroom. He would like his own very first Roberts radio. So that's where it is destined for. Right, I'll put the speaker board back in. And we'll put a little bit of thread lock on there too. I need the tiniest amount, and I'm never very good at tiniest amounts. It always ends up being a dollop. Actually not done that bad with the dollops today, although this, no, it's good. Then we will pop the handle back on. Now I kept those two retainers from earlier, I'm hoping to reuse them, I should be able to. There's a neat trick for this too, but I don't know how much of it you might see, because I've put the door on and that will want to close. I'll do what I can. So I'll pop the clip back onto the post for the handle. Usually it just sits on top. I need it quite flat. And then I get the nut spinner, put it on the top and press it home. And it's as easy as that without using any special tools. And again the same on the other side. Get it to sit quite flat. And then with the nut spinner, it's back on. That's a handy little tip. Of course, because I'm doing this in a video, I've forgotten to put the speaker grill back in. So the speaker board's going to have to come out. This proves there's no editing. I like the no edit policy, because you get to see all my mistakes in the raw. And you'll have to bear with me because I did also spray the grill and I've left that out in the sunshine. So that will be just a moment. have sprayed one side of the grill. And just pop that home there, and we'll put the speaker board back in. Thankfully the thread lock won't have had time to dry. Next door neighbour's still out talking doom and gloom. And it is 29.9 degrees in the workshop. I could put my extractor fan on, but that might affect the video. There. Right, now we'll put the cowl on for the jack socket. And we'll actually attach the jack socket back, which is also sometimes a trick in itself, just lining them up, because the screw has to bite as soon as it reaches through. Like that. Line up the next one. Yep, they're both good now. And there's the power wire back in. I was a little bit unsure about the hinge, whether to change it for a shiny one. I'll have a look at what I've got. If I've got a shinier one, I can put it on. Plenty of hinges. Where's the hasps? Got one that's slightly shinier, so we'll go with that one.
Last 5 minutes.
We'll pinch the pins out of the old one. I'm not happy with that. That's got it. Yeah, this one's marginally shinier than the one that we took off. So I'm just removing the pins.
37 is our request level, and that to Manchester and then what?
Right, we can now start to reassemble the radio itself. Yep, we're good. Let's connect the power back up. And the speaker wires. And the radio back in to the case. And the last shoulder board. Which is quite snug. That usually means it's not sitting right. There we go. Apologies if I got my head in there. Right, now the two shoulder screws. One there and one there. Not overly tight. You'll start to feel the resistance when you tighten them up. And we'll bob the aerial back in. And the aerial screw, which the aerial wire cleat has to fit over. And I believe now we're all back together. So the one thing we have to do when we've done any work at all on a radio is to bob a battery in or apply some power and test. And there we go. If I just prop that back, pop that back there. Let's have a look. There we go. One black, one very black, Robert's R250. the little white mark on the front. That will get painted out in a moment. There we go. That quick.
Trevor Nelson's Rhythm Nation.
Every Monday to Thursday nights from 10.
One black Roberts R250. Completely stripped, resprayed, reassembled.
What a hell of a tune that is. We're up a storm in the studios tonight. We're playing the best
And looking every bit the part that it should.
Simple.
Double thumbs for that one.
Monday to Thursday.
Thanks guys, I'll catch you in the next one.
A fear of cooking is no